Hey YouTubers, this is CyberSnake7 back for part 2 of his console collection video. I ended on the last video with the Sega Saturn, but I think I need to backtrack a little bit because I missed something out of the previous video in the Mega Drive collection section. So let's go back a tad. And what I want to go back to is this. The Sega CD, the Mega CD, the front drawer loading version, which is the best version of the two. Perfect nick in its box. Obviously wear and tear over the years, but I can't complain. I think I paid 50 quid for this about 10 years ago. Still works perfectly. In my opinion, this is the best version of the two. I hated the Mega CD too, and I hated the Mega Drive too. I couldn't stand them consoles. I had two of them, they both broke. So I stick to what I know is the original, which is the best, technically. But there you go. I've got a few games to this, I'll show you in later videos. But there you go, that is a class Mega CD front drawer loading system. Now, this next console I'm going to show you, it's a bit like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it, and I really don't know what to think, to be honest. I bought it for one game alone, which was Alien vs Predator, and I never got it. So I got a system with a game that I never bought, but nevertheless, the Atari Jaguar. It's not a bad system. It's got the worst joypad in fucking history. Seriously, the worst joypad in history. I could not stand the card system that you had to stick over the keys on the keyboard at the front of the fucking joypad. But nevertheless, I had to have one because I'm a console collector and I love systems. I got about 5 games for it. Yet again, I'll show you in a new video when I get around to it. But there you go, there's the Atari Jaguar. I'll take it no further than that because it's the Atari Jaguar, and you either love it or hate it. But I'm more on the hate side than the love side. But I've still got one. There you go, the Atari Jaguar. Enough said about that system. Okay, now let's move on to this system. Very first system I bought off eBay, and that's going back in 2001. Wanted one all through the late 80s. Obviously I couldn't afford one, but I ended up getting one, and here it is. It's the PC Engine, the original PC Engine. Absolutely love this system, love the U-card system, and specifically bought this for the original Splatterhouse, because I love the arcade machine. And this, at the time, I know you could get it on the FM10s Marty, but this machine was far better as far as I'm concerned. I love the Japanese version, and I snapped it up and I was so chuffed I got it. Paid about 60 quid for it. Pretty decent price for the time. It's probably about the same now, I don't know, I don't check anymore. But there you go, that's the boxed PC Engine, which is a fantastic console. But I didn't stop there. I got one last year, beginning of last year, specifically for another one game, which was Dracula X. So I ended up buying the Duo RX, and this is, I think, version 3 of the system. It's got its original 6-button joypad. It plays U-cards, Super CD-ROMs, well, it plays CD-ROM systems, but it will play Super CD-ROMs without a card, but it won't play arcade games. You have to have the arcade card, which I've picked up obviously. But yeah, as I say, I bought this for Dracula X, and I paid about 125 quid for this, which is pretty reasonable. But then I obviously had the import charges. Well, I didn't say the import charges, the postage cost on top of that. So I was talking about 140 quid, 150 quid, which I ain't too fussed about, because I'm glad I've got one of these machines. I've wanted one for a long time. Love PC Engine consoles. I don't think I'd do any further than what I've got, to be honest. I've got the two best machines that I think are available. I mean, you can give the LT and pay stupid money and the GT. There's no point. I'd just stick to these main two consoles. I fucking think they're the best. They are fantastic. Okay, right. Now let's move on to a daddy console. Now this dude, you literally had to have money to have one at the time of the release. You paid shitloads of money for the games. My cousin bought one in the early 90s, mid 90s, and he paid £180 for Art of Fighting, and that's fair enough, but at the time I wouldn't have done it. I ended up paying, I waited and ended up paying about £30 for Art of Fighting, which is this is the daddy system, the Neo Geo cartridge front loading system. I love this system, cartridge system, fantastic. It's arcade. It's an arcade perfect console in your house. Brilliant system. Absolutely love the joypad. Loved the joypad. Fucking best fighting pad I've ever played on. Also, obviously, I've got a few games, but obviously it's mega expensive. You've got to have the money, or you've got to be dedicated to collect Neo Geo games, which I'm not, because at the end of the day, I've got that fucking much I want. I can't keep up. So if I see a cheap, a decent half price, you know, decent priced Neo Geo game that I'm after, then I'll buy it. But if not, then it just goes by the by, because I just really can't afford them. But I've got about 5 games I think for it so far. I'll show you in a later video. But Neo Geo, I don't know what the serial number is on the back. Apparently the lower the serial number, the rarer the machine. I really had to look, to be honest. I'll let you know about that in another video. But there you go, Neo Geo, the daddy of consoles. Right, let's move on. Okay, we're moving on to probably the second best console in my collection, and the most underrated console. Should have done far better. I'd love them to do a sequel to the console, which I can't see happening. But nevertheless, I still think it's probably one of the greatest arcade consoles again, which is the Sega Dreamcast. By far the best console going for arcade ports, shoot 'em ups and fighting games. Graphically brilliant. Very, very underrated console. Yet again, I think it done better in Japan, more so than over here, like the Sega Saturn. They concentrated far more on Japanese releases, and everybody had to import them, and you never ever, and as they still do today, everybody still gets the imports, shoot 'em ups, and the PAL versions are becoming quite pricey nowadays, which is quite good, but I still prefer to buy the Japanese imports. But as I say, great console, just very, very underrated, and should have lasted longer. Please bring a sequel out to this machine, because believe me, people will buy it. They will. That's the PAL version. And I also have the Japanese Director's Edition. As you can see, there's nothing in it, because it's sitting gracefully underneath my TV, where it always stays, because it is a fantastic console, and it is always played and respected. No two ways about it. Okay, now we're moving on to the last one of this section, because I'm going to have to do a number 3, because I've got a few more consoles to show you. But this one, it has its moments. It's got some good games on it, and I did kind of like it when I first bought it, but I sold it and I got rid of it and I got it again. And I've got not that many games for it again, unfortunately. But it had GoldenEye, and it had Zelda, Mario Kart, Donkey Kong 64, you said it, you heard it, the Nintendo 64. I've got the Red Edition. And this is not a bad machine, to be honest. I mean, my favourite game, I've played it and I don't yet own it on this system, is F-Zero, which I'm disappointed with myself about, because F-Zero, I loved it on the GameCube. The GameCube is a brilliant one, but I played it on here and it is a top game on this system. Top game. Well recommended. Well recommended if you want an F-Zero game. Get it on this system. Just don't be like me and don't buy it and waste your time and like just think, oh, I'll get it another time. Buy the fucking game. It is awesome. Awesome on this system. But there you go. That is nicely boxed Nintendo 64. Pristine. I got it for about 40 quid. Fucking bargain. Oh yeah. Right then. That is it for this second video on my consoles collection. Thanks for watching, and keep playing, keep watching. This is Cybersnake 7. See you on the next video.